This is Virgil Ortiz, and you're watching REED-BBS.
REED-BBS. BBS. Got some super welterweight action this Saturday, October the 14th. We got Tszyu versus Ryan Mendoza, La Bala, which translates to the bullet. Palabara La Bala. Tszyu, he's 23-0, 17 KOs. He's the interim WBO super welterweight champion. La Bala Mendoza, he's 22-2, 16 KOs. I believe he's the interim WBC champion, if I'm not mistaken. Tszyu, of course, he's the son of the legend, Tszyu, the super lightweight legend, former undisputed champion in his own right. Speaking of the division itself, yeah, from down under, from the land down under, Aussie land. You know, I could whip out I could butcher the Aussie accent with foit. They're having a foit this Saturday, a foit or falstas, Australian for bear. But I won't do that. I won't even go into the do not be rude to me routine that Tszyu did when Jim Gray was bugging him about a Vince Phillips rematch. Please do not be rude to me. But Tszyu, get into the fight, and to Tszyu, not his daddy, he's more outwardly confident than his father. His father was just more stoic and solemn. It's not that he lacked confidence, because by most accounts and reports, Tszyu did not. Very confident man, and deservedly so, Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? Tim's more outwardly confident, more not jovial, but more outwardly friendly than his father appeared to be on the surface. And he's big business in Aussie land. No two ways about that. The Tszyu name is a brand. Absolutely. Now, the wonder is, from the land down under, the wonder is, does Tszyu have eyes set on Jermell Charlo, fresh off of a setback, a $10 million setback in his loss to Saul Canelo Alvarez, challenging him at 168 pounds. Moving back down to 54, so he says. Thing with Tszyu, hey, especially coming on the heels of that Canelo fight, there's a lot of people, more people than before, would favor Tszyu to beat Charlo if indeed that fight happens, assuming Tszyu was to get past Mr. Mendoza, who I'll get into in a second. Tszyu, he brings it, man. He's slowly grown on me. He's not his daddy. He's not that. He's not Jeff Finnick. He's not Lionel Rose, who are some of the other the Australian boxing legends. He's not those guys. But Tszyu ain't just some guy milking his daddy's last name either. He's beyond that. He's earned legitimate stripes and respect within boxing circles. Tszyu can fight. He can fight. Ask Terrell Gausha, 2012 U.S. Olympian. Ask Tony Superbad Harrison, Kronk Jim, former super welterweight champion. Ask Carlos Ocampo. Yeah. Tszyu brings it, man. Gausha even dropped Tszyu early, and it didn't deter Tszyu at all. He kept coming, kept firing right hands, probing jab like his daddy used to have. Good body work. I mean, Tszyu, he's a physical force. There's nothing fancy about him, no bells and whistles, but he brings constant, unrelenting pressure. Smart pressure, but pressure nonetheless. Like, he wore Gausha down mentally as much as he did physically, just staying on him. He didn't give Gausha a chance to breathe, and Gausha was very, very uncomfortable. Harrison, he dropped so many right hands on Harrison, snapped his head more times than I could count, made Harrison look old and feeble, and took him out. And Ocampo, he did him dirty. Took him out like 72 fucking seconds. Yeah, he did Ocampo dirty, took him out in style. Brutal right hands. Like, just took him all the way out. Then a left hook, stretched Ocampo. Head rested on the bottom rope. like Amir Khan in the Brady Prescott fight. Shit, it was ugly, man. But he's got a fight on his hands Saturday with Mr. La Bala Mendoza. Tszyu will be the fourth undisputed. What am I trying to say? Tszyu will be the fourth undefeated foe. That's what I'm trying to say. Fourth undefeated foe that Mendoza will have faced. And Mendoza's faced one other opponent with just one L. He's faced former world champion Jason Rosario. He stopped Rosario, dropped him with a left hook to the body, and then stretched him with a right hand, if I'm not mistaken. Got him out of there with an uppercut. Yeah, I think it was a right uppercut. Mendoza is an upset specialist. He's an upset specialist. This is what he does. This is who he is. Now, he sparred in the past with Erislandy Lauder and Shakur Stevenson, and you can see a craftiness in Mendoza's style. He's got real good lateral movement. Crafty dude. He tries to bait you. You can literally see his brain, his boxing brain, at work when he's in the ring. Doesn't always work for him, as the two losses can attest to, but you can see where his mind is going. One of his two losses was to Mano Ramos, and there was a lack of urgency. That fight was a couple years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And just the way Mendoza fights, it's like two different guys. There was no urgency in the Mano Ramos fight, like at all. He seemed accepting of losing a decision. And, got his nose busted up late. And yeah, really, I don't want to say he just tried to survive, but there wasn't much of an effort to win at the same time, that fight. But again, that was in the past. Since then, he took out, like I said, Jason Rosario in style. And then the Sebastian Fundura KO, one of the better KOs you'll ever see. He baited Fundura. He feinted the left jab to the body downstairs and turned it over into a left hook as he was dipping over to his own right. Real smooth, crafty, like whop. Caught him, made them knees dip, followed up with a brutal right hand, left hand, whop, whop. And that was it. Fundura was so out of it, he was having like a drunken conversation with the referee from his ass. Sitting on the canvas, looking up at the ref like, asking him for tea and crumpets or some shit. I don't know. As he was getting counted out. So yeah, Mendoza, power in both hands, demonstrated power. And you have, combined with that, a man in Tszyu who's going to bring the pressure. So this fight has all the makings of a train wreck. Mendoza's going to use his lateral movement, but with him being afforded the opportunity to counter, which Tszyu will present to him, I'm going to go ahead and take Mendoza, man. And he's going to have to knock him out. So the only way for me to take Mendoza in Australia, in Aussie land, where the Tszyu name is a brand, is by KO. So give me Brian Mendoza by KO. Let's say 9th or 10th round in an excellent fight. I think Tszyu will be ahead. But Mendoza showed some grit in that Fundura fight. He was losing that one. Face all busted up and red and nose busted up, eating uppercuts and shit. And he's stuck in there. I think Mendoza's hungry enough to grit it out. And again, 9th or 10th round stoppage. I might even do a live stream of this. So if you would, set your notification, hit the bell icon for notifications so you'll see if and when I'm doing the live stream of this fight. REED-BBS. Blackbird Sugar, Bachelor's in Boxing Studies. Television! Fred Sanford of the Fistic Arts. When all is said and done, there's nothing left to say or do.